Hi everyone. How are you? Great. Yosef Falaka. I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching for the last almost 19 years. Teacher, trainer, expert, educator, and a part-time lecturer at the Yedisaba University, and a PhD candidate at the Yedisaba University. Today I'm here to share you my area of expertise, and it's about Jolly Phonics. My today's session will focus on how teachers, parents can deliver the program to children. So, in our today's discussion, I'll show you the skeleton, how you can help your students or your children. It could be at home or at school. So, I can start now. So, what is Jolly Phonics? I need to have quite a few questions for you, and then you will answer those questions by the end of the day. The first question is, what makes Jolly Phonics different? What makes it unique? Number two, how many sounds are taught in Jolly Phonics? And number three, what do you teach? Do you teach sounds or names? This is the most important one. And the other one is, what is a storyline? What is sound book? What is sound sheet? So those are crucial pointers that you will give due emphasis. So to begin with, what is Jolly Phonics? What is it? Sometimes you remember I asked you a question to tell me the difference between Jolly Phonics with that of phonetics. You know that, especially those of you who graduated from English language department, we took four linguistic courses, and one of these courses is phonetics and phonology. You remember that we were very much challenged by this course while we were at the university. So phonetics and phonology are quite different. The first thing is in terms of their depth, right? Because phonetics is broader and phonics is narrower. And phonetics, you just learn more than 50 sounds, but in phonics, students will learn only 42 sounds. Um, Still like taking this course from the university, if you ask, I can say almost all English language teachers. And then if you ask how many vowels are there, and majority would say five vowels, A, E, I, O, U. The same is true for students. But we should know that we have more than 20 vowels in English language, right? So my basic concern is about Jolly Phonics. And what is the purpose of this Jolly Phonics? How does it help students? How does it help teachers? How does it help parents? Right? One thing is that this is a very systematic way where it is created by experts in the area for teachers. And this is one of the major things which makes Jolly Phonics quite unique or different, right? So we can start from the first one, from the definition of Jolly Phonics. What is a Jolly Phonics? What is a phonics or else? So it's a synthetic phonetic scheme that teaches children the alphabetic code of English. Alphabetic code of English, the major one. So the point is, how do we teach Jolly Phonics to our students? There are five elements. Five elements that you need to incorporate in your teaching session or sessions, right? So what is the first one? The first one is learning the letter sounds, or we have to teach our students what? Letter sounds. Bear in your mind that in most cases, we don't teach students sounds where we are supposed to teach, because any sound, any language starts from sound. Sound is the primary thing in language production. So we have to teach sounds. But instead, in Ethiopian context, we just not teach letter names. So remember that there's quite big difference between letter names and letter sounds. So what do we do in an Ethiopian context? We basically train our students. What do I mean by that? For instance, we just show them the letter names instead of the letter sound. For example, if you take seat, we just not teach them the letter names. The letter names means S. S is the letter name. I is the letter name, and T is the letter name. These are not letter sounds. So our students cannot be guaranteed to utter or pronounce the word. So they cannot say SIT, so that they cannot produce the word. And instead, we have to teach them sound. Because the sound for the first one, the letter name S, the letter sound S. The letter name I, the letter sound E. The letter name T, the letter sound T. So if they learn the letter sound, they will be able to pronounce the word. So they will say S, E, T. Those are three sounds. And then they will be able to produce what? The word. And then they say sit. So we have to teach our kids letter sounds, not letter names. That's why this program will provide 42 sounds for students. So after they finish learning those 42 sounds, they will be able to utter many words. And at the same time, they can also develop their pronunciation. For example, if I ask you, why did you say hard? You may not have justification for this one, because we heard from our teachers, we just go back. And because that is how my teacher pronounced this word when I was a student, right? We don't have any justification. We don't say that this is because the first is this sound, the second is this sound, and the last one is this sound. Graphically, the word hard has 4 letter names. That is the H, the A, the R, and the D. But in pronunciation, we don't have 4 letters. We have 3 sounds. So knowing those sounds will guarantee you to pronounce the word. So you say H, R, D, hard, hard. So initially, we have to make sure that we teach our students letter sounds, right? Not letter names. Teaching them letter names, saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, up to Z, it doesn't guarantee our kids learn the language properly. Instead, we have to teach them letter sounds. I know that quite a few schools in Addis Ababa or across the country, they just use sounds. But I have a kid structure where students will be learning only 26 sounds. That starts from A, it goes all the way to Z, right? This is way better than teaching letter names, but still they need to learn more so that students can easily read and pronounce words and listen at the same time. So the first element in teaching Jolly Phonics is what? Teaching sounds. How many sounds are there? I just told you already about this one. There are 42 sounds. Initially, only one sound is taught, only one sound in a day, depending on their age, because this program, it goes from year 4 up to year 11. But depending on, the ability of the student, High school students can learn this one. University students, I mean teachers, and because I have implemented this program in various schools across Addis Ababa, and I have very good feedbacks from the teachers, and almost I can say 100% of the teachers, witness that they have initially learned a lot about this from this program, and they told me that they had too many words that they were wrongly pronouncing, and this really creates very good opportunity. And trust me, by the end of the day, you see how it's really, really important. So, depending on the students, for example, for year four, you cannot give one sound every day, right? Maybe three words for a week might be enough. But for year nine, you can give one sound per day. If you give one sound per day, you can finish it in a few weeks, right? So one sound in a day, it depends on. It could be two sounds a week, three sounds a week, or five sounds a week in a week, right? Depending on the age of what your students. You cannot give equal sounds per week for pre-KG students with that of prep students, because it's quite different between the two bars. And introduce each letter sound. First, read the story. It says, one thing that I like to introduce you with the following books. This is said to be the master book, the master lesson guide for the teacher, with various colors like green, yellow, and others too. That is because there are three workbooks here, and this is workbook 1, and this is workbook 2, and this is workbook 3 with various colors, as you can see them. So this one is the basic one, where students will be able to learn the 42 sounds. After you finish this one, you'll be commencing another second one, that is workbook 2. This is also very interesting for kids. And the last one is the third book. This is the advanced one. At this stage, you'll find amazing students. Even after they finish volume 1, you'll be surprised by the performance of your students. One thing what makes this program unique is as a multi-sensory methodology will be employed. What is that? We're going to see that. So as you can see it, this is the book. Look at this. It is detached because various schools were making a copy of this for their students, because this is the workbook for students. So as you can see, the first one, there is this sound. I mean, a picture that they're going to color, right? And here there is action. They will be able to trace and then write independently, and then they cross out the one which does not have S sound in it. So it starts from S because it does have its own reason why it started from S. As I told you, earlier, quite few schools in Ethiopia, they just use abakidi. They start from A and then B and then K and then D. This does not guarantee your students to pronounce, to utter words. I tell you this one. As I told you, the other peculiar characteristic that makes this program unique is what? It starts from S. Why does it start from S? It's not arbitrarily designed. It does have like quite few phases or 7 phases. Each phase will have 7 sounds in it. I'm sorry, 6 sounds in it. So 6 times 7 is going to be 42. So you have to teach your students level by level, right? Phase by phase. For instance, the first phase it does have sounds like s, a, t, e, p, and then n. So as you can see, we have a from the top, we have t from the bottom. Why therefore? Because after they finish phase 1, students will be able to construct simple words, at least CVC. That is the purpose. For example, they can produce words like seate, seite, teine, and other sounds, of course. Look at this. So initially, students will be able to start producing what? Words. They don't, they don't wait till they finish up to the last sound. So in every single phase, in 7 of the phases, students will be able to what? Continue constructing, producing what? Words. This is the other thing, what makes this program absolutely unique. The other one that I told you earlier is a multi-sensory method is used through what? Storyline, action, sound sheet for each student. Storyline. You know that students really like to listen to stories. So the teacher master guide will tell you everything how you do it, so you won't have any problem. The one I'm telling you now can be found from this. So, it's just to show you practically, let me go to, look at this. As I told you, the first sound is S, right? And this is the sound sheet. This is the storyline. So this is the storyline. The storyline is the story. This one is said to be the workbook or the sound sheet. So here you are the storyline. Here you have the action right here. There is another, like the fourth book, which has lyrics in it. All the 42 sounds have songs. That's why it's a multi-sensory activity where students will enjoy doing those activities. The first one is, look at this, the story. So this is how you start every day. All the 42 sounds have what? Storyline. What makes all the storylines different? This storyline contains too many S sounds in it. Imagine. For instance, the teacher will start by reading the story to their students. So, it's a sunny morning. Look at this. And Sam is taking his dog, Samson, for a walk. They like to walk down to the pond. Sam looks around as they walk along. He sees a toadstool, a red and yellow caterpillar, and a black bird on her nest. It goes on like this. So you just don't find too many S sounds in it. At times, maybe for your students, because students really like to play hunting games. So this could be one of the hunting games that you can allow your students play. Because you just write this and you bring it in a soft copy, and then you tell for your students to hand the S sound in it, right? So it's incredible. So once you read a story, and then there is the action. So look at this. This is like snake. This is how you write sin. Look at this. And then the action for this one is going to be like this. Students will do this one. Plus, there is a song for this particular lesson. So the students will say, the snake is in the grass, the snake is in the grass, the snake is in the grass. They really like to do this. That's what makes multi-sensory activities will be employed, right? So they would say, The snake is in the grass, the snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. They like this one. They really literally enjoy this one. Most of the time you can give this lesson by the end of the day because it motivates your kids. It really initiates them. They will be energetic because teachers will facilitate. You are facilitators, right? So students will perform a number of activities. That's why they like this program. After that, some sounds and diagrams are represented by two letters will be taught. Diagraph, right? Two letter names pronounced it as one. For example, if you take the word strong, the last NG will be pronounced as We know this one in phonetics. Phonetics, not phonics, phonetics. You remember that sound. You remember like the sound, right? This is nasal sound. So most of the NG sounds by the end of the word will be changed into sounds. We don't say writing, reading, sing. And instead we say writing, listening, reading. So the last NG sound is turned into the nasal sound. That is This is one of the consonant sounds and phonetics. And then they will also learn words like book and words like moon. We know this one in phonetics, the short and the long form, right? For example, if you look at book, it's quite different from moon. For book, it is written like this one, book. This for moon is a long one, moon. And the phonetics, we have more than 20 vowels. We have simple vowels. We have diphthongs. We have triphthongs. Di means two, the combination of two vowels. But triphthongs, three, the combination of three vowels. But in English language, in pronunciation, there is exactly one vowel, right? So I don't want to get into the detail. Maybe in the future, I'll be talking about that one. What are those 14 simple vowels, the diphthongs and the triphthongs? What are those vowels? How do we produce vowel? Can you answer this question? We have place of articulation and manner of articulation for what? For consonants, right? So using those place of articulations and manner of articulation, we'll be able to produce what? Those consonant sounds. How about for vowels? Do we have place of articulation? How do we produce vowels? I'll be answering this one by the next episode. So the first one is teaching letter sounds. The first step, not letter names. Number 2, learning letter formation. The second step that we have to teach our students is what? Learning letter formation. As the letter sounds are introduced, we introduce letter sounds, right? The children are shown exactly how to form each letter correctly. How do they write? The children form the letters in the air, teaching the children to the tripod grip. Look at this. Sometimes we find students who have very, ugly sort of writing. How they hold, their pen or pencil. This is the stage where we have to teach our kids how to hold what? The pencil. It should be a tripod structure. So we have to tell them that how they have to hold their pencil. At the same time, we show them how we can write that sound in the air. So you have to show them. You have to give your back to your students so that they won't get confused. You don't show them like this, being face to face. You have to give your back to your students so that they can easily understand, and then show them how to write s. S, s. Can you do it? S, s. So this is formation, and you should also tell them how they should hold their pencil or pen. That's the second one. The third and most important part is blending. Blending or reading. By the way, this program mainly gives due emphasis for writing and then reading. But at the same time, it can also, or it gives due emphasis for speaking and then listening. That comes from the interaction you make with your students. You know that if you have very good English, your students probably will have good English. If you have bad, and then they will have bad. If you have a very good English, and they will have a very good listening skill. So by facilitating in a classroom, you interact with your students will learn from you, right? Because they interact, they talk, they're not simply sitting and then learning. So blending as what? As learning the sounds, the children need to be taught how to blend. The aim is to enable the children to hear the word. So example, after you teach the word dog, dog, D-O-G, you have to show them how they have to do it using their fingers. This is very important for kids because kids will learn from hands-on experience. So you should know this one. This might be something very easy for you, but it's not easy for your kids. So they will learn D. Say it together. Okay, teacher. D-O-G. D-O-G. Together. Dog. You'll be surprised. Or else S-A-N. San. Or it could be the blended one. Mouse, mouse, right? Strong. So blending. They should learn this one, and then they should rehearse for diagrams as well. Flag, 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 it goes together. Ag. The diagram for the sound 3. Flag, shop, shop, shop. This is blending, but most important for kids. So make sure that you do this one. At first, one way of spelling each vowel sound is taught. Like you teach them how to pronounce the word rain. Rain, right? Rain. And then once they learn this one, you start to add the alternatives. There are quite few alternatives, right? For example, the alternatives means, for instance, you just know, I'm sorry about this, you just write rain, and look at this. They learn about this simple. And then they start learning about alternatives. This is A sound. Look at this. So this will also be taught. Like play, play. A, this is an alternative. Came, came. This is an alternative. This and this. So this sound will be taught as alternatives. And this together. How do you write this one? It is put as this. because it indicates that one as a sound that comes in between. So we'll take them the alternatives later on. The first one is identifying sounds and words. Another very important thing for kids. So it is essential that children can hear the individual sounds and words, especially for writing. So start with words that have three sounds in them, CVC, right? From the very simple one. You add them. For example, you tell them that there is the word dog. Then you ask them if there is any this sound in the word. Do we have this sound in the word dog? They will definitely say, yes, teacher. Where is it? The most important thing is that at the beginning of the word, in the middle, or at the end of the word. So they will definitely tell you this one too. This is at the beginning of the word. The sound is in the middle of the word. The sound is at the end of the word. You may start from the CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant structure. And then you go on to what? The middle advanced and then the most advanced one. The last point is about tricky words, irregular words. So after teaching 18 letter sounds, 18 means what? How many feathers are there? There are 7 faces. Each face contains 6 sounds. So 18 means what? After you teach up to phase 3. And then when you start phase 4, you can also start about tricky words. You tell them that they are tricky words because no other way. For us, very easy. So they are irregular words. You tell them that. They don't respect the rule. So they are words that cannot always be worked out by blending. For example, look at the word. I'll write this one and then I'm going to show you this. Look at this. Now the students, you told them that this is W, this is O, this is S. So they will definitely say was. They cannot pronounce as you want it because this is irregular. So this is not was with us. This is going to be was. Was. He was. But students will say what? Was. Because that is how you told them. We, are, and then si. They're correct. So you have to tell them that those words cannot come by blending. So you tell them that those words are tricky words. They don't respect the rule. There are around 60-something words which are irregular or tricky words. So what do? You give them 2 tricky words every day and then you put it on the wall, right? So if you take them like today 2 words and then you just tell them how to pronounce those 2 words to your kids and then you post it on the wall. So every time they come into the classroom, they will be able to rehearse and they should know that those are tricky words. If you teach, every day, one single sound, make sure that all the time you have to remember what you told them earlier or the other day, right? It could be like 10 sounds. You have to revise them all. You need to have what? Flashcard. I'll show you this. The flashcard that I've made it by myself. So you have a flashcard and then you show them, what is this sound? They tell you that this is si. Can you show me the action? It's like this. Can you sing the song? The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. They will never forget forever. Okay? So, tricky words are very important. That's it. So, conclusion. Those are the steps how you're going to use in teaching Jolly Phonics to your children? Well, in this case, I will practically start and teach your children from the very beginning, right? From this one. I don't know, I may just, put it this one somewhere else so that your parents can print it out, the hard copy, and then your kids will do everything on this one. I'll be responsible in teaching them all the 42 sounds, right? But I want you to help me by copying this one, the hard copy, and then I'll print it and then put it on. I don't know where to put it, but we'll figure it out. Um, so after that, if you teach, as I told you, one sound per day, and if you teach 5 sounds per week, this could be finished in 9 weeks. Very easy. So you make the calculation. If you do 2 per week, if you do 3 per week, it depends. And read and write the 42 letter sounds and form the letters correctly. Blend regular words frequently or fluently, for example, leg, flag, shoot, and others. Write simple regular words by listening for the sounds like as a word and bait, right? And what comes after the first 9 weeks, if you teach one sound every single day, then frequently works through the flashcards of the letter sounds. Flashcards. For 42 sounds, you will have 42 flashcards. Those are very important, right? And what are flashcards? I do have. When I teach my students, I will show them every day, right? And including the alternatives. What are the alternatives? And I'm going to show you all I think there are 40 something alternatives. I can show you here, they are here basically, but it's not to take time. These are the alternatives here. These are the alternatives where students will be taught at the end, by the end of the day, okay? So I think now you'll be able to answer the questions that I asked you earlier, right? Don't you answer those questions now? For example, now, what makes Jolly Phonics different? Too many reasons. It's made by teachers for teachers, very experienced teachers. One peculiar characteristics of this program. Another, this is the 21st century program, whether you like it or not. Another, as a multi-sensory activities will be employed so that students will really entertain in learning this one. Another more point that you can mention. How many sounds are taught? Obviously 42 sounds. And what do we teach? We teach letter sounds, not letter names. Teaching our students letter names does not guarantee them pronounce or utter words or write words. What is the storyline? I already showed you here. The storyline is about the story that you use, right? And what is the sound book? I'll show you my own made sound book. I cut the exercise book into 2, and then every time I print and then put the sound in their sound book. So they just read that one. What is the sound sheet? This is the sound sheet or the workbook here. We call them the sound sheet. Yes. I think I've answered all your questions, and I'm going to see you next time. If you have any question, you may just write me in the comment box, right? And then I'll see you next time. Thank you very much indeed.